Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
This is The Morning Rush.
Are you ready to indulge in an unforgettable fine dining experience? Then come join us at Uncorked, where every meal is a masterpiece, crafted with the finest ingredients to tantalize your taste buds. And with our extensive selection of cocktails, wine, craft beer, and bourbons, we've got something for everyone. So why not take a break from the ordinary and join us on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodi's? Come savor the moment with us at Uncorked, where every visit is a celebration.
Flu vaccines, both regular and high dose for seniors, are now available at Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith. Call 452-6116 to schedule your shot appointment. Usually there is no cost when covered by your insurance. Law's Drug has COVID vaccines, RSV vaccines for ages 60 plus. Pneumonia and tetanus shots are also available. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family. Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag Technology without the headache.
Hardee's 2 for $5 mix and match breakfast bake goodness into your morning. Pick any 2 handcrafted favorites for only $5. Choose a made-from-scratch biscuit stacked with sausage and egg, biscuit and gravy, or a country fried steak biscuit. With Hardee's 2 for $5 mix and match breakfast, you get double the breakfast goodness for just $5. Hardee's, goodness in the making. These items only, tax not included. Price and participation may vary.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family, from general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Do you need an attorney that you can actually speak with? You need Hickey & Hull Law Partners. The attorneys at Hickey & Hull understand the importance of client communication and are taking the time to meet you, respond to emails, and return calls. Every case is important, and they strive to give each one the time and attention it deserves. Call today, 479-434-2414, or visit them online at kevinhickeylaw.com. Hickey & Hull Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, partly sunny skies. Our high temperatures this afternoon will be into the upper 50s to low 60s, but falling through the 50s in the afternoon. We will see cloud cover tonight, overnight low in the mid to upper 30s, and then Saturday sunshine, highs in the upper 50s to lower 60s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The McClarty Daniel hotline is the #1 place to reach us at ESPN Arkansas. McClarty Daniel. See all of their inventory online at McClartyDaniel.com.
You're listening to The Morning Rush, live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith.
This hour of The Morning Rush is brought to you by Farm Credit. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's different, you know that, and you're different than you were back then. So hopefully I've grown as a coach, as a teacher, as a husband, as a father. I believe totally that I have. Hopefully I'm better tomorrow than I am today. Yeah, I want to win. I came back here to support Coach Pittman in winning. I appreciate him a lot. when he did send that message that this is Coach Pittman, I'd like to talk to you, the hair on the back of my neck stood up. I was like, that's going to happen, really? And then we talked for a short amount of time, and he said that he had an interest, and we set a time to talk where we both had time later on, and that was exciting. I felt, hey, maybe this is really going to happen. Could it possibly happen? I talked to my family and stuff that could possibly work. And then we had a great talk, great conversation. I think it was over an hour some, maybe longer than that. And then when I got off the phone, I said, man, he didn't offer me the job. I was a little bit surprised about that. I thought, man, maybe I need to do a better job interviewing again. But it was a process he was going through and taking his time. And I was just anxious to talk to him again.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Bush Light Studios.
Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is the Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text the Morning Rush on the McClarty Daniel hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
Yes, sir.
Football Friday here on the Morning Rush. Glad you're here. Big C, what do they call it? The golden hour on halftime when they get in the last hour of the week.
It is the golden hour.
We're just going to borrow that term today. No Ty, no Chuck. We have upgraded. We got Clay Henry here on the third hour of the Morning Rush. Clay, good morning.
Good morning. I'll tell you what, I think I can build Chuck's shoes. I don't think I can build Ty's shoes.
In fact, I don't even think you're trying. If you just want me to get real honest, I don't even think you're trying.
Man, you guys, you officials that wear the white hat, I mean, there's nothing that gets by y'all.
No, not at all. Sometimes we have to go to the monitor and look again, but no, nothing gets by us. Hey, we're brought to you by QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. What is that? Well, that's restoring and repairing your damaged joint tissue with no surgery, no drugs, no downtime. They do it the natural way by taking the healing properties from your own body, putting them in the joint or the area where you hurt the most, and giving you long-lasting relief with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. There's 150 QC Kinetics clinics nationwide, and we're lucky to have one right here in our own backyard in Northwest Arkansas. 479-999-1234 is their number. They can see you as soon as next week. 479-999-1234. We've talked throughout the morning, Clay, about just kind of the roller coaster over the last 7 days. Fans in general didn't seem to have much hope after that Missouri game and the way it ended. I'll be honest, it didn't seem like the program had a lot of hope about where they were headed. They knew they had this NIL project. They knew the phone calls that the people at the foundation had gotten. They knew what the future of ticket sales were probably going to be after a 4-8 year and the way it ended with Missouri. And then you turn all that around, and it seems like you got not just a major jolt would be an understatement with the hiring of Bobby Petrino. It's been then you beat Duke. I mean, it's just been a roller coaster of a week. I don't think it's the wildest week we've ever covered here, but Clay, it's been a wild week of pretty big headlines.
Yeah, I spoke to a group yesterday in Fayetteville called the Old Timers Sports Club.
Are you the founding member?
No, I was the kid.
I'm sorry, that's a low blow.
I was the kid. You could say old farts and I'd be all right.
Deduct a point from his card. That was a low blow. That's below the belt.
But Woody Bassett asked me to come speak, and about 40, 45 people. They meet regularly, and they've had some great speakers. Not yesterday. But
well, you said that.
But anyway, Woody told me, he said, "Don't worry about what you say. They won't remember this tomorrow."
That's not nice either. But anyway, so what'd you tell them?
Well, I mean, let me just start by this: I've never seen more Razorback gear, and the Razorbacks weren't playing yesterday, but everybody's pumped, and they got questioned on how it's going to work, and that's yet to play out. You heard a little bit yesterday. After that, I went to the press conference with Bobby and Sam, and you could see they're on the same page. And and it's also clear that's the second time I've heard Bobby explain that Jimbo made him, go with his system. In other words,
yeah.
And so you got a glimpse of that, and then the very first scrimmage, it was like I had to get up at 2 a.m. just to get a playlist together and be able to, say it right. Well, that's not what you want, and so that gives you the idea of what parameters Bobby was under, which everybody kind of thought that Jimbo still kind of had the reins, and that to me looks like it was the case.
Yeah,
I think Bobby, first of all, he doesn't like the NIL. No coach does, and I think that the idea of him being the offensive coordinator, not a head coach, is very appealing to him right now. It has been probably for several years. And I've heard people that have been head coaches and then they go back to be, a coach in the meeting room and on the field. That's the purest part of the the coaching job, and they like it.
He talked about being a teacher, being back in the classroom, and that's what he liked about the last
having
year.
Time. Instead of scrambling for 30 minutes to get things ready, to go to practice, because he's been dealing with he's dealing with discipline, he's dealing with, whatever might be going wrong, or, he's doing speaking engagements. He's got the SEC media call, you've got your press conference on Monday, you got all those things, and yeah, Bobby really liked all that.
Yeah.
I'm being sarcastic.
Yeah.
I know he didn't.
Yeah.
None of them do. And Bobby did it well, but he didn't want any of that stuff. And I don't think that and I've heard people say, yeah, this will be 3 games in and then Sam will be gone and this will be the Danny Ford deal.
No.
It's not going to happen that way. I mean, I wouldn't say never, because, we all learn, don't ever say never.
Yeah, just look at this week. So,
yeah.
Hey, what do you think out there? We're going to open up the McClarty Daniel hotline here in just a second, because we hadn't been able to do that in the last hour. So 877-377-6963. We got Philip in Bentonville. We'll go to him in a minute, but there's an open line for you. You can call or text, and we'll get to that in just a minute. So you were in the room. Give me the feel and the read for the room. You said they're on the same page. I heard you asking some very good questions yesterday throughout the press conference. What was your read on the room yesterday as Bobby saw some old familiar faces just like yours in the audience asking the questions?
Yeah, he was smooth. Seemed like he was well prepared. He had good answers. He seemed like that he knows where he's been. He knows what's happened. And he wants to make amends. And that wasn't addressed so much as it was at David Basil's Touchdown Club. But, you have that information, and then you see kind of the follow-up, on the interview that Bo and Zimmerman did with him the night before, and then this one, and you just kind of link it all together, and it matches up. And, I wanted to know what they had talked about on the field before the game, because that I'm talking about 2 years ago, and Sam says it was about recruiting and the way they had handled things here when he was here, how they recruited Arkansas, some logistics things that he wanted to understand. And here's what Sam needs another guy. We all do. We all need somebody that we can call. It's kind of funny. Woody Bassett, was there at that meeting that I spoke to yesterday, and he was my personal attorney, knew me real well, knew my family, and there were times when I needed to call him, and I needed to when I was at a crossroads, and when you're at a crossroads, whether it be with a player, a discipline, you keep this guy on the team, you give him another chance. How does this work out with you, Bobby? What's been your experience? And he had that guy with Barry Odom, but this is a guy that's had even more experience. He was a coordinator in the SEC twice. I think everybody forgets he was also a coordinator at Auburn. He was a coordinator with Jacksonville Jaguars. He's a head coach briefly at Atlanta. Head coach at Western Kentucky, Louisville twice, Missouri State. Coordinator at Texas A&M. He's got vast experience. He's lined up against, the top coaches. He knows how to, come up with a practice schedule. What works, what doesn't work, when you need to change it. So that, and then the in-game management, he'll be invaluable, in my opinion.
Yeah. Before we head to the phones, Clay, it's December the 1st. Where the hell has the year went? It is the first day of the last month of the year. And I just looking at my computer, and it's 8:10, and right below it says 12/1/23. Where has this year went?
Yeah, Tommy, I'm going to, say something about you, and I can tell you why you feel that way is because every time that I talk to you, your day's jammed up, and when you have full days, and I don't mean just work, I'm talking about family, going to watch football practices. Mm-hmm. Then you're reffing games, you're putting out fires. You got studios in Fort Smith, you got studios in Springdale.
Got Ty,
yeah, and that's how the year goes real fast, Tommy. Yeah. I'm just telling you, and that's one of the reasons. And I understand perfectly what Bobby's done and why he wanted to do it. When he was head coach at Missouri State, he agreed to take a job at UNLV that wasn't really different in pay. Now, it was different when he went to Texas A&M and Arkansas, but that UNLV offensive coordinator job, it wasn't a $1.3 million job. He wanted out of all the crap, and that's what I did 2 years ago, and I don't want to go back. Mm-hmm. I'm not retired, but I'm doing the fun jobs, and Bobby's doing the fun jobs now.
Yeah. I'm not retired. I'm just tired. That's where
there's some truth to it.
Yeah, there is. All right, let's go to the phone lines. The McClarty-Daniel hotline is open. We got a line open for you right now if you want to jump in with me and Clay. 877-377-6963. 6 locations in Springdale and in Bentonville. A good deal is never too far away. They're always online at McClartyDaniel.com. Phillip's in Bentonville. Phillip, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Hey, I read an article, and I wanted to get y'all's opinion on it. There was an article about how they got Bobby here, and they got him on a loophole. They got him in on a loophole, and I read the article, and I thought it was very interesting. That there was a deal with the U of A that if someone got fired with cause, they were not rehireable. But then they went back, and I think in 2019, and remodified it. How much did, going off of that, it had to have approval from one of the presidents of the Razorback, the U of A as a whole. How much did your check, politic, and how much did behind-the-scenes stuff went on to bring him in that not everybody knows about?
Yeah. Thanks for the call, Phillip. But it's my understanding that, this went all the way to Bobbitt at the very top of the food chain. And so it passed by several desks, I'm sure, Clay, on its, Hunter had to be on board. Chancellor Robinson had to be on board. They're sticking their necks out to some degree. When you got to go to your boss's boss to get something like this done, there's other people with skin in the game, I'd say.
Yeah, the key part about everything is the people that had a problem with Bobby the first time, they're gone. They're not in the room. It's whether it's John Fagg, I think he's an AD at Texas Arlington. Mm-hmm. Jeff Long's retired in North Carolina. There's a lot of those people. New chancellor. And this chancellor was here before. He was a faculty member. But I think that's a notable part of what's happening here, is that there's not anybody, Hunter Yurchek doesn't have a problem with it, obviously. Chancellor Robinson doesn't have a problem with it. And I think that real quickly, I think President Bobbitt, that's who he asked. Are y'all, what do y'all think?
What's the board going to think?
Yeah, well.
The board of trustees, what would they think if because trust me, if it blows up and it goes
works
wrong,
for the board.
Right?
He works for the board.
If it blows up and it goes wrong, then that's when the problem. Well, we were the opinions may change at that point, but I think there's also in that the reality of the way things ended. If we don't have some kind of boost, some kind of shot in the arm, they understand this NIL program that was rolling out and the fan support that you needed, which requires hope on the fans for hope for the future. They understand ticket sales, so let's not all be kumbaya and sit around the campfire and not understand that. Hey, there's some financial reasoning. It's a business decision. That's the best way to sum it up. This was a business decision because a lot of people that had said, "I'm done, not going to buy tickets." They would have followed through with that. Now, you know what? Bobby Petrino back. I think I'll hang in here for at least another year.
Yeah, it's what was really interesting to me is at the basketball game, the young people. Guess how old they were when this happened? They were in elementary school.
If
they don't remember, they don't care. They know that what they saw. They've heard their parents and their grandparents talk about how good the offenses were, and then they saw it 2 years ago when Missouri State came in here and threw the ball around, the park. Mm-hmm. Got that fourth down open when the guy's running free. So it's like, hey, we want some of that. That's fun. And there probably had to be somebody a little older than them tell them to print up those T-shirts. Be MFP. Yeah. Is that what it is?
Yeah, and then how about Sam yesterday? Well, we were trying to figure out what that meant. Come on now. I mean,
well, I think Bobby told him.
Don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining.
Yeah, well, I think Bobby, if there were any questions, Bobby quickly told him.
Everybody knows what that means.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah, so it's but, back to the board, Tommy, that's changed. Some of the guys that were on the board, they've fallen off. I mean, I think maybe 4. So, it
was a long time ago is the bottom line. And we all deserve some grace and forgiveness.
Somebody explained to me soccer, and I'm trying to watch it and trying to figure it out, and this old head said it's about time and space. And I was like, okay, what does that mean? He says, you have to have time to operate and you have to have space. And time changes from one game to another. It changes from one year to the next, how those players play. This was about time and space. It's a different time. It's a different space. Everything is different. Bobby's like, I got to figure out how to get my way around Fayetteville. I got to figure out, what's happened different on campus. And I guess the point of all that, there's been time. And, I hope my wife's not listening, but I think she's getting ready to go to Fayetteville, send it back. But it maybe somebody listening will tell her this. But, when I asked her out, that was the perfect timing. I can go into the details, but if I'd asked another time, I probably wouldn't even got her on the phone. But that was the perfect timing, and I was told that. So it's about timing, and it's about space.
Well, if Jimbo Fisher doesn't get fired at A&M, it doesn't work out. Because my conventional thought would be Bobby would still be there as the OC, or perhaps a head coach at a
Mike Elko might have wanted him.
Yeah.
Everything had to be right.
You're exactly right. All right, let's go to Brian, who's in Greenwood, home of the Bulldogs, playing for a state championship. Brian, you're on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Good morning.
Yes, sir. Last night when I got home, I went home and watched that press conference, and I feel like I watched something totally different than what maybe everybody else saw. But looking at the body language and the way he answered those questions, Trey Biddy, I guess, had asked, do you have a relationship with Petrino? And he's like, no, I don't. I said a few words to him after the Missouri State game. Then they were like, well, was he ever on your radar? If he had if he could come open, would you want him on your staff? Well, no, he was never really on my radar. Well, how'd y'all find out about each other? Well, I got a text from his agent, and then we kind of went from there. And then he says, well, the hair on my neck never stood up, blah, blah, blah. But he felt like he had that bulldog demeanor, like he lost a football game, instead of being happy, excited, jovial with that big smile. Then you go over to Bobby Petrino, and he's excited. He's got that smile on his face like he won a football game, and, the hair on the back of his neck stood up. But it just didn't come across to me like Pittman was excited enough yesterday, maybe about the hire, or maybe he had some different thoughts. But to say Petrino was never on his radar, he didn't think about it, he's never had a conversation with him, and all of a sudden now he's a new OC, I felt like that was kind of forced on Sam. I don't feel like that was a decision that he made, at least based on the way his demeanor was in the press conference yesterday.
All right, Brian, thanks for the call. Clay, you were in the room. What was your read?
I thought Sam, he came in, and first of all, what you see is snippets. He came in the room with Bobby, smiling ear to ear. at the basketball game, the people that were in the box with him. I mean, there was a picture where Bobby's distracted and looks like he's looking away, and everybody said, "Oh, he's not happy. He's looking away." Well, I mean, you could probably film, and snap it for 45 seconds, and everything changes from 1 second to the next. He asked Bobby to go to the game, wanted to show him off,
That's
knew
what he said.
yeah. And I think that I didn't get that feeling. I think if you got that feeling, that's probably the way you want to view it. And I do not think that's the case. And I think Sam's pretty tired right now, and he's pretty tired of losing. He wants somebody to help him win.
Yeah, I think that's exactly why I brought him in, and it certainly has energized a fan base that seemed hopeless just days ago, and now there seems to be a lot of energy and excitement.
Yeah, and his team is excited.
That's exactly right. All right, this hour of the Morning Rush brought to you by McClarty Daniel. Russ Daniel and his team provide great customer service at all of their 6 locations. They're in Springdale, they're in Bentonville, and you can find not only a well-trained team, but great customer service. Saturday service is available for you as well when you go to McClarty Daniel. Visit their locations online at McClartyDaniel.com or see them in Springdale. And in Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away with McClarty Daniel. And then, again, you can join us on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Clay was at that Arkansas Duke game the other night. We'll hear his thoughts from a historic night at Bud Walton Arena next here on the Morning Rush.
Join the local conversation on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Call or text 877-377-6963.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is the Morning Rush.
Kobe Hamilton! Can you believe it?
Merry Christmas from your friends at Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. This month, save a whole lot of money with year-end pricing on a huge inventory of Rath Road-ready vehicles. Plus, follow us on Facebook for how you can win $1,000 Christmas recovery cash. Remember, whether you're buying a car, selling a car, repairing a car, or anything else automotive, all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
When you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. But you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag Technology without the headache.
Christmas shopping is easy at Jelco Outdoors with thousands of gift ideas for that special person on your shopping list. Jelco has the right gift for that special man, woman, or child. Clothing, footwear, firearms, archery, hunting, fishing, hiking, casual wear, Western boots and clothing, knives, kayaks, and so much more. This Christmas season, shop local. Shop Jelco Outdoors. And remember, Jelco gift cards are always a perfect fit. Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
With over 40 years combined experience, the team at the law offices of Craig L. Cook understand the definition of work, real work, working for you. Whether you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help navigating bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
The Golf Nut has a great selection of Arkansas hoodies and in-game shirts from Nike. The Golf Nut also has the best selection of clubs like Callaway Paradigm, TaylorMade Stealth 2, and Peen G430, along with the wide assortment of shoes, apparel, and golf bags. Needing help with your game? Call Matt Brooks and schedule a lesson on the simulator at 646-4430. Matt has over 10 years in the golf industry. The Golf Nut, 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith, your #1 golf shop since 1994.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Y'all ready for this?
You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Someone was flying a plane over Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium in Fayetteville with the signage that said, "Welcome home, Bobby."
Yeah, that's a newer type. I mean, we used to drag banners behind planes. Now they got LEDs underneath the wings or whatever. You got to read it. I want to figure this out, guys. How do we get that plane to say, "Give me the Hogs, Chuck"? That's what we got to do is we got to get the thing programmed to say, "Give me the Hogs, Chuck."
I think you have to pay for that.
Oh, well, we're out.
I think you have to pay for that.
Oh, yeah, like, listen.
Big news of the day here on the Morning Rush, one of the breaking stories. You said the biggest news of the day. We're going to get Clay's thoughts on this, plus the basketball game from the other night. Cody Kennedy, if you're just now getting with us, Cody Kennedy is out at Arkansas as the offensive line coach, according to a footballscoop.com report this morning. I'll get Clay's thoughts on that. He's going to Mississippi State to join Jeff Levy's staff. We'll talk about that, and plus Clay's night at Bud Walton earlier this week when Arkansas beat Duke. But first, let me talk to my man Larry Rath over at Rath Auto Resources. He's went from hero to zero this morning. He's got to start all over. Now the screws are tightened down again because he had a great November. Well, what have you done for me lately? It's December the 1st. I don't know how we got here, but Larry, you better get it going or they're going to be on your butt.
You just wrote my sales meeting. I'm just fixing to pull in. Those guys are in trouble, man.
Yeah.
I'm feeling the heat.
I don't care what you did last month. It's a new month. I can already
That's
hear
right.
it. Yeah.
That's right. It's exactly right. I've been kind of worried about you guys all week. Worried if you had anything to talk about, you know?
Yeah, we hadn't. It's been kind of quiet around here.
It's been a little quiet the last few days, hasn't it?
Yeah. So what's happening? Starting in the final month of the year, you got monthly goals, quarterly goals, yearly goals. Yeah. I mean,
it's all wrapping up.
Hey, it's put up or shut up time.
It's put up or shut up. It's time to get that job done, and we're having a good time with it and always have fun with everybody that's rolling with Rath, all of our customers. We've had a great year, and we really do appreciate that, but we do need to finish strong. We need a good December. We're doing that with year-end clearance prices on a big inventory of Rath Road Ready Premium Pre-Owned cars, and we've got a good selection at both stores. Lots of big discounts on those, lots of year-end savings on those cars. And the Rath Road Ready, you can't buy a better used car. These cars are hand-picked. They run through our Meineke Car Care Center where we fix anything we find wrong with them. We do all the maintenance. After they get through detail and everything else, they pass a final inspection to get that Rath Road Ready sticker. You're not going to buy a better used car. We'd love a chance to earn your business. The Meineke Car Care Centers, that's our secret weapon. It's how we take care of our customers, not only, get those cars ready, but take care of our customers. We also meet a lot of new customers. So if if you're not trading right now, you need to take care of your car. It's a great time. Visit one of the Meineke Car Care Centers. They got half-off brakes, buy 3, get 1 free on tires, and a free winter-ready inspection going on. And the Winning and Grinning Give-A-Palooza, it's $1,000 Christmas recovery cash we're going to give away at the end of the month, and everybody's going to want that, right? I mean, once you paid for Christmas, you'd love a chance to win that $1,000. All you got to do, follow us on Facebook for all the instructions or go to our website, and you can register right there. and we'll get you signed up for that Win and Grin and Give-A-Palooza and $1,000 Christmas recovery cash. Come in and see us this weekend. It's going to be real nice, and we're going to sell a lot of cars and have a good time helping folks roll with Rath. Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith, Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale. Check us out online, rathauto.com.
All right, Rath Auto Resources, again, both locations, Springdale and in Fort Smith. Larry, have a good weekend, a good start to the month, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, guys. Y'all have a good one. Folks, come and see us.
All right, Clay Henry is here with me. Tommy Kraft, Christian's here as well. Your calls coming up on the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. Clay, I want to hear your experience at the Arkansas-Duke game. You've been to all the big games at Bud Walton, and since its construction 30 years ago. But I want to hear your thoughts on this offensive line coaching situation that broke during the course of the show. About an hour ago, we learned that Cody Kennedy, according to footballscoop.com, and they rarely miss on these type of stories, he's headed to Mississippi State to join Jeff Levy's staff. What's your kind of first reaction to the news this morning that Arkansas is going to be searching for an O-line coach?
Well, it was pretty obvious, I think, to everybody that it didn't work last year. And whatever reason it is, that's when you make changes. The other part about that is when you hire a new offensive coordinator, generally he wants his offensive line coach. And I guess it'll be really interesting to see if, somebody like Chris Klonakis comes back, or somebody, that that Sam has worked with in the past comes back. Is Brad Davis, how has it gone at LSU with him? He was kind of Sam's hand-trained guy that was, had been successful at Missouri under Barry Odom as offensive line coach. So I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out as far as names. Those are the ones that I know they have a connection with. But there's got to be some other good offensive line coach. I've always said, the hires that you make, the first one is probably your coordinator. Kind of felt like the next one is probably your strength coach. The next one's your defensive coordinator. The next one's your offensive line coach. Those are the key guys on your staff. And there may be somebody that changes up that order slightly, but it's critical. Lou Holtz, when he was successful, he had Larry Bechtel. And, I think he was terrific. Beck, the old-time coaches players that I talk to, they talk about how, technical he was in the way they played offensive line. Strength is important. Athletic ability is important, but technique and hitting those landmarks and footwork, that's what it's about. And,
leverage.
Don't make penalties. Don't make penalties. Yeah. Just don't make it hard on your offense by something you do pre-snap. I think that, without question, when Sam Pittman, that was among the first coaches that, Brett Bielema hired, and that was for a reason. Mike Markison was terrific as an offensive line coach. Under Houston Nutt, and I can go back and you point to Mike Bender before Mike Markison that set the foundation that he was able to inherit with Burlsworth and some of those other Russ Brown and Greg Garrett. That Mike said he didn't have to do a whole lot with those guys because they'd really been trained. You go back to Coach Broyles' days when he was winning championship, it was Merv Johnson. And Merv, I think he won 3 national championships through the years at different schools. Yeah. That's not a coincidence.
Yeah. All right, we'll get to Clay's thoughts on the Arkansas-Duke game on the other side of the break because I want to have plenty of time for that. News this morning, according to footballscoop.com, Cody Kennedy going to Mississippi State in the same spot as an O-line coach for Jeff Levy's new staff. We'll have more on this with halftime coming up at 11 this morning. It's Football Friday, brought to you by QC Kinetics, the nation's leader when it comes to regenerative medicine, restoring and repairing damaged joint tissue with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime with QC Kinetics. They've got 150 clinics and thousands of satisfied patients around the country. We're lucky to have one right here in our own backyard in Northwest Arkansas. Get moving again with QC Kinetics, 479-999-1234. 999-1234 with QC Kinetics. Our SEC update is on the way, and we'll talk more with Clay here on the Morning Rush.
Hey, everybody, this is Joe Tessitore from ABC and ESPN, and you are listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt. You may not be required to pay it all back because there are special programs now in effect that will significantly reduce the amount you will owe if you qualify. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. These programs, which the credit card companies like to keep secret, exist to aid American consumers struggling with overwhelming credit card debt by offering tremendous savings and real debt relief. Accredited Debt Relief has established a special hotline for you to call and learn what savings you qualify for. They've helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt and are A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. So don't wait. Get the relief you need during these hard economic times. For this free information, call the Accredited Debt Relief Hotline now. Call 800-652-5656. 800-652-5656. That's 800-652-5656.
This is the Morning Rush.
We got to show them we are the University of Arkansas.
Arts Barbecue and Burgers has the best burger in town. And every Saturday, enjoy any burger at Arts and get $1 off. Try Arts Bacon Cheeseburger, topped with house smoked bacon, or the Art Attack with bacon, ham, and a fried egg. And all of Arts burgers come with a mound of fresh cut fries, or upgrade to Arts homemade onion rings. $1 off all burgers every Saturday at Arts Barbecue and Burgers, 8203 Rogers Avenue, next to Aaron's in Fort Smith.
Gray Brothers Equipment understands the importance of your hay crop, and they're ready to help with quality Kubota products like Kubota rotary disc mowers, Kubota brand wheel hay rakes, and BV round balers attached to Kubota's M-Series cab tractor. Together, Kubota and Gray Brothers will make your hay days fun again. That's Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Photo, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything, service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSAuto.com.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
Do you need an attorney that you can actually speak with? You need Hickey & Hull Law Partners. The attorneys at Hickey & Hull understand the importance of client communication and are taking the time to meet you, respond to emails, and return calls. Every case is important, and they strive to give each one the time and attention it deserves. Call today, 479-434-2414, or visit them online at kevinhickeylaw.com. Hickey & Hull Law Partners. Things are about to get better. Hey, it's Ty Richardson for Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. I want to talk about their pizza today. The Goob Special with extra pepperoni and rib rub on top. The Parm Special with double mushroom and jalapenos. Don't forget about the bacon cheeseburger and everyone's favorite, the old trash can. Swing on by Papa's Pub and Pizzeria at 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith, or give them a call at 479-783-9941. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Congratulations, you're having a little girl.
At that moment, everything changed. Our hopes and dreams for ourselves were instantly replaced by our hopes and dreams for her. We got life insurance policies from Shelter Insurance, so that regardless of what life throws at us, we'll still be able to provide the world to her.
Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Call Randy Milam in Alma or Brandon Zimmerman in Barley.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Somebody said we've got SEC bias. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
Well, it's the biggest weekend, I guess, for the SEC. Maybe the biggest weekend of the year because of what's at stake. It's the SEC Championship game in Atlanta, Clay. Our SEC update brought to you by QC Kinetics. Georgia favored by 5.5. Who wins and why? And does the winner get to the college football playoff, regardless of which team it is? Clay?
Yes, I don't know which team is going to be.
Which team wins the game first? And will the winner, regardless if it's Alabama, make the college football playoff?
Yeah, I think it's a coin flip. I don't think Michigan is the best team, and I don't think Florida State is. So I think that I think it's Georgia. I think Georgia's got the best defense, and I think they've got the most consistent offense, and I think they got the best player. I haven't voted for the Heisman yet, but Brock Bowers to me is a difference maker. And you can say something about Jaden Daniels if you want, but it's when I watched him against Florida State, he didn't have any answers, so I think when he plays against a bad defense or an average defense, he's pretty good. But that might be the way most quarterbacks are. But I think you're going to see Georgia kind of emerge from all this.
Well, this next statement's just going to floor you. You're not going to believe what Nick Saban said. He said the winner of this game should 100% make the playoff. Can you imagine he'd have that opinion?
Yeah, I bet he went back and forth for a couple of seconds and then came up with that.
Yeah, well, I think they need some help. I think they need Oklahoma State to beat Texas, and of course they've got to win. But I think they need some help also to get in. But I think if Texas loses and Bama wins, it probably does open a door, because that would take the shine off that Texas loss from the people that want Bama out. That would remove part of that argument. All right, that's your SEC update this morning. We're going to move quickly through that as it's the SEC Championship game this weekend. Not a lot of basketball. The Hogs are off this weekend as they'll get ready to play Furman next week, play Oklahoma next week. So we'll get more into basketball. And that's your SEC update. It's brought to you by QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. They do it the natural way with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. And they've been doing this a while. They got over 150 clinics nationwide with advanced protocols that can get you moving again. Hey, us old guys know that when you get older, getting out of bed is sometimes a challenge, but doing all the things you love, climbing ladder stands, to deer hunt and playing golf, and maybe just climbing the steps at Bud Walton Arena is maybe too much for you. QC Kinetics can get you moving and doing things you love with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. 999-1234 is their number, 479-999-1234 for QC Kinetics. Clay, you were there the other night. You've been to all the big ones at Bud Walton. You were there when they built the building. You've seen it from its inception. It was the largest crowd ever as Arkansas played Duke and got the win 80-75. Man, what'd you think? It was the largest crowd. Chuck and I were talking about this yesterday. Was it the best crowd you've ever heard in there? Because I was in second row of the upper deck. I love those seats that are right on the front of the upper deck because you can see everything, but you can also see those corners. And I'm going to tell you, I've been to Kentucky games, and I went to the Alabama game last year, and all those upper deck corner seats aren't always filled. A butt was in every seat the other night.
So it's there was a debate at halftime, and it was started by Jay Billis, and he wanted to know if this was the best crowd. I think he's been here one other time.
Yeah, it was the Bama game last year.
And that was a good crowd. And I told him I did not think it was the loudest. It was a good crowd. And it was, I think it might be the largest because of what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
But I said, I'm going to take you back to the first year, to the Missouri game that, they scored at will, and it was a 50-something point margin, and it was, it was just rock 'em, sock 'em, where Missouri, just took, body blow, and it was so what's happened through the years is the people that have those tickets, and they were of a certain age, and I would say middle age, the ones that came over from Barnhill, and then the new crowd that could afford it. And those people have gotten older, and they don't often come, especially the ones from Little Rock. They pick and choose when they come. Well, they were there 2 nights ago, and they're really old, and they're not as loud as those same group of people that had tickets when they first built the building. It was a younger crowd then. I'm talking about not the students, but the 3/4 of the other arena. And that crowd for the Missouri game, they were on their feet, and they were at fever pitch from the start to the end. And there were no timeouts for there ever to be a lull. They were just the media timeouts. Norm Stewart would not call a timeout. He wanted that game to get over. He knew there wasn't anything he could do to change it. And he wanted to get to the bus and get the hell out of Fayetteville. And that was the loudest crowd.
Either you're really good or we ain't worth a bleep. That's what he told Nolan at the handshake. And they went on to win the Big 8 that year.
They went undefeated in the Big 8.
Either you're really good or we're not worth a
And
I think we knew the answer at the end of the season.
That's what I told them. That's the loudest I've ever heard it. Yeah. And it might have been.
We had something to prove as a fan base that night because Barnhill had its reputation, it had its lore, and we brought that spirit of Barnhill in and that Crystal Bowl, and we felt like we had something to prove in the early days that, hey, we're not going to let the magic of Barnhill be lost in this new, bigger building.
And there were a couple of games early in the Pelfrey days that they played almost back-to-back, Oklahoma and Texas. And I thought that was as loud as I'd ever heard.
That was pretty loud because I was there the night they played Texas, and he had that red blazer on, if I remember right. But there were open seats. I was sat in the lower bowl in the corner
that night.
And I remember there was not a lot, but I was kind of sitting in an area where some corporate seats were around us, and they weren't all full. But I'm telling you,
it was during the Christmas time, and so all the students probably weren't there either. But those 2 games were, it's just the passion of playing Texas is. And now I will say this, that it was pretty cool the other night. Now I got my beef. This is kind of like somebody that's driving down the interstate in the left lane, and they've got their left turn signal on for like 7 miles, and you're like, man, that's my beef today. But it's the rap music an hour and a half before the game.
You mean DJ Derrick didn't throw on some Troubadour from George Strait for you? He takes requests,
I would like to hear Moon River. That would be a good one.
Boy.
Something that didn't make my heart vibrate.
Yeah, well.
Your whole body.
I don't think that's intended for us. I think our age group, that's not the target audience for DJ Derrick.
They put us up there high right behind the students, and I could tell you who it was for. I get that. I saw them, and
that's the best student crowd in a long time.
They were up, and they were wiggling and gyrating and doing whatever you do with rap music. Maybe is it twerking? I don't know what a twerk is.
You want to try it?
No, I don't think I can. It's just
you might have to have hip replacement if you even tried it.
Yeah, I think that's probably true. But that stuff,
You'd at
I
least
was
be on
glad
crutches for a while.
when the game finally started and they did more of the band than the DJ.
Yeah.
But I get it, and that is highly planned and highly targeted for who they want.
It's scripted. But
Yeah.
I'll say this, because the university gets beat up on a lot of stuff.
I beat them up on the rap, yeah.
But they have done and improved their presentation. I mean, this is entertainment, and it needs to be orchestrated. It needs to be planned out. And there were times where I thought there was a gap or a lull in building crowd reaction and making it as good as it could possibly be. And I think they've improved that part of the presentation. I mean, at the end of the day, we buy tickets to sit in our seat and sit back and fold our arms and say, all right, entertain me.
Bring it to me, baby.
And I think, A, it helps when you got a winning team, but B, and you got a great opponent. But they have improved. They've stepped up their game in that regard to the music and the presentation and the video board and just the way they go about the whole night. They've turned it into a better show.
You like the flames in pregame out in the middle of the court?
It's fine. They've sped that up. Last year, the pregame player introductions just seemed to take forever.
Yeah.
But they've sped that up, and John George is the best there is. I mean, I don't want to get off in the weeds about vocal inflection and the way but he's the best, and he really adds a lot to the overall presentation. So I mean, we beat up on those guys over there for things we don't like. We need to give them credit when they do something right. And I thought it was good the other night.
I can do a better job of figuring out what to do with my time before the game. And where I get to the arena and I'll stay back in the media room instead of trying to soak in the pregame hour or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have to be. I can hear that beat in the media room and know it's not time for me to come out yet.
Yeah. Well, I just think
I got a question.
Yeah.
During a timeout, do you need the arena to be at a fever pitch then or when they're playing?
I think you want to keep the energy level close. I mean, maybe not at its peak, but you don't want it to go to zero. Yeah, okay. And plus they sell all that sponsored stuff with French fry toss or whatever it is. They got something planned for about every media timeout. But I just thought it's better than it's been in the past. I thought
do we still have a? Are we out of time, or we get to talk about the game?
We got a minute, and we got almost 2 minutes. So
okay, I will say. What I saw in the first 5 minutes, which was orchestrated too, was Eric Musselman had his players go right at Filipowski. They got 2 fouls on him immediately. They did the same with Zach Edey.
Then his backup came in and got like 3 fouls.
They got 3 fouls.
Yeah.
And
they were down to their third. Because of foul trouble, they were to their third big man pretty quick.
And John Shire was really frustrated, but he also knew that he had the A-team out there in Showles and Oglesby. Who's the third ref?
It was Steven Anderson. He's good,
okay.
but he's not on the.
Those
Showles.
other two are top 5, right?
Top 5 in the. I mean, you just go
in the country.
Go check box scores from Final Fours and national championship games.
There weren't any questions from those head coaches. They might have been frustrations, but they knew that they would take those guys every night.
Yep. They got, Musselman was on him, but that's just part of his game. That's part of the show as well. But it's wasted breath. You're not going to move those guys off of what they're going to do. But I thought, taking Filipowski out obviously was brilliant. The run in the second half, about 8-9 minutes to go, where they had 7 straight trips. That's what won them the game because that gave them the cushion when the turnovers happened against the press to win that game. So it was a fun night, historic night at Bud.
And they'll be fine against the press. There's not anybody that's going to come in there and press them for 40 minutes. Nobody can.
Clay, have a good weekend. Thanks for being here for me today.
Yep. Thanks, Tom.
All right, Clay Henry with us here. The Hall of Famer with us here on the Morning Rush. Hope you guys have a great weekend. For Big C, for Chuck. Ty will be back Monday. For intern Will, it's here. This is Tommy Kraft. Y'all have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday morning right here on the Morning Rush.
Whether you're fishing for cold water bass on Beaver Lake or